is there an absolute end to do this contraction of me caused by me, or I mean whatever the cause? So there is this contraction at the middle of everything.
Yeah.
And there can also be this expansion of space.
Yeah.
And really.
Yeah.
I mean, and okay, maybe is it okay if I give you a little background, very short, about my situation?
Yeah, but just be careful not to overexpose yourself on the internet, you know, because you're being recorded.
Yeah, so sure. Okay. Since 2 years, I have been experiencing this huge expansions of space.
Yeah, beautiful.
And so there was, before that, I mean, since maybe 5-6 years, I have been experiencing neurological change. Really, I had experienced a lot of pain in the brain. And I maybe went to neurologists for this. But at the end, I realized that there is no medical problem.
Yeah.
And, as I started to see the change in the perception and my psychology and the emotions, so I started to surrender to the process.
Yeah.
And as I surrendered to it more and more, the process really got easier and easier. At least the painful part was over. And since 2 years, really there is this, I mean, huge expansions of space or whatever, I don't know. And in every meditation session, it is like, okay, this is it, this is at the end. This will, I mean, cut all the crap out of, and now, I mean, each time there's the expectation, maybe that's the problem, that the contraction will end for forever and ever. But there is always some remaining small part which perpetuates.
Yeah.
And I mean, the perceptions, especially the seeing, really change from day to night.
Yeah.
So after each expansion, really the physical seeing expands, and the space is bigger and bigger and bigger, and at some point this quantitative bigness started to really some qualitative thing. What I mean is, lately I have the feeling of this love, really. I mean, as this, it's a loving space, really. It feels good to be in it, and it is, as it is getting bigger and bigger. Anyway, the question is there ever an end to this process? I mean, there is this expectation that the center should collapse completely, but there is always some remaining. And so what to do?
Yeah, what to do?
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah.
Firstly, I would just like to say that I feel so happy for you that what you describe over the last 2 years, that there was some form of staying with the pain, of not running away from the pain. You were really wise. You went and got it checked out physiologically, and then there was some form of staying with the pain, and then something shifted, and then there was expansion. I'm like all into celebration. That's really great to hear. Like there's a popping of something. There's something that's So then with the next part is that there could be, what's happening to you is that when you're experiencing emotional difficulty, so that never ends. Emotional difficulty comes and goes. So when you're experiencing emotional difficulty, there is this narrative in you that might not be conscious. This is just, I'm just guessing, I don't know if this is right. There might be a narrative in you that this shouldn't be there. And then through that narrative, there is a rejection, and then that creates a contraction. And this is very common because we have this idea that, because often you feel the expansion when you feel emotionally good. So then we have the idea that there will always be emotional goodness as well. Whereas emotions come and go, and then when we have a painful emotion, there is like this contraction and this like pulling back into it. So like you did with the pain of the body, there has to be this kind of acceptance of the emotional pain. So this could be something that happens. The other part is that you might be missing something. So it might be that you're focusing too much on the bliss that comes with expansion, because the expansion does come with bliss, and it comes with a lot of love. And you might be focusing too much on the feelings of it rather than the very subtlety of the expansion, because the expansion is absolutely empty. And yes, there is love there, but not love as that bliss love, as that feeling love. So it might be that your mind is slightly perceiving the wrong thing when it comes to the expansion. The expansion is like this emptiness that cannot be seen and cannot be perceived and is always there. Like right now, you're absolutely expanded, even if you feel contracted. Your perception, the perceiver, is absolutely everywhere. It's massive, it's endless, it's in all things and no things. So it might just be a tiny bit of attention that is missed. But then the third thing is, who cares? So the one that cares between the expansion and the contraction, examine that and examine the feelings and the emotions that come up with it. So the one that cares about it. That's the other. That's all I have to say on that.
I get the part about the emotions, definitely. I mean, the energy of some people make here feel better, and some energy of some people doesn't feel right.
Yes, that is true, because when you begin to have the expansion, what seems to happen is, because your attention is everywhere, and because there's less you there, you're very perceptive to other people's energies. And most of the people that you meet, like 95%, unfortunately, are going to be suffering. So that is true. Like when you come into the vicinity of somebody that's in pain, you're going to experience that as yourself. And the trick to it is not to reject it. But what I do, and what I'm finding is helping, although I do find this a very difficult area, and I'm still working on it, is you've got to put your attention in your actual body, because your attention is expanded. And it's not that you're wanting your attention to contract, but you've got to put it in your body to remain in your energy of love, but well allowing their energy to be there. So just allow their pain to be there. And it's like absolutely selfless, because in the end, you are everybody. So their pain is your pain. So you have to accept other people's pain. The mind is very cunning though, because the mind is like, yeah, but it's not my pain. Let me reject their pain. I can go away from them, but it's yours as the absolute. Your job is to accept it all and love it all as the absolute.
I understand this. Then the last maybe part of the question, I think also there is the problem here that there is this expectation of, so there is this me contraction.
Yeah.
It was very solid years ago. For instance, I thought this is a very solid universe and this is a very solid body. Now I don't experience much solidity in the body or it's obvious that there is not much solidity in the world.
Yeah.
Like solid, like matter.
Yeah.
It is more of a really getting more and more alive appearance.
Yeah.
But there is this expectation that the last bit of me or the contraction or the solidness should die.
Yeah.
So,
well, I would just let that thought be there and be open to it not being true, but also let that thought arise, because it is a thought and it is a story. And I don't know, I can't be inside you. I don't know what's happening. But just allow that story to arise. See if there's any emotionality, or see if it's connected to old stories, and also see that it's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
Like no thought can actually be true, but there might be some purpose to it, so just explore it. It's a very interesting one, isn't it? Like this idea of absolute no me or something, like it's all thought.
Yeah, you're right. Who cares about the absolute me or the absence of absolute me? Yeah. Thought has nothing to do with such an absolute issue, right?
Yeah.
But at that, really, I am really very grateful to the process. I am 40 years old, and the 30 years of my life was really math, in mental sense, in psychological sense, and since this expansion happening, everything started to really got easier in the practical sense.
Totally. I mean, it saved my life. It totally does. It saves people's life. And I'm so happy when you said that. I was like, yeah, I felt really happy for you. Like that expansion's happening because there's a part of you that knows the truth, even though there might be the contraction. You really know that is the freedom, not time, not things. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, definitely. And when that expansion happens, there is the absolute not knowing, but I mean, when the expansion happens, I feel like I am the one expanding. I mean, the contraction, there is the identification with the expansion, not with the contraction, but am I being clear?
Yeah.
So when there is this expansion, there is only that expansion. There is that. And being with that feels great.
Yeah. Yeah, nice.
And yeah, okay. I thank you for.
Yeah, thank you so much for calling in. Really lovely to speak with you and hear your story.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.